Good evening, everyone. I guess we'll get started. It is 5:31, the Holyoke Historical Commission meeting, Tuesday, November 12th, and the time is 5:31. Where I get a roll call.
Christopher Bob here.
Here.
Joseph Mazzola.
Here.
Olivia Mazel.
Here.
Zaisha Robert.
Is on
Mute.
mute.
Zaisha, can you talk now? Oh, there's Tyler and Sean.
Okay, Tyler is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna keep going. You can do your thing, right, Jennifer? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, we're all set. Zaisha, I need you to sit. Are you here?
You have a number for her, Aisha?
Yes.
Can you talk to her?
Guys, sorry, it said that the whole, like, it wouldn't let me unmute it. But
Okay.
yes, I'm here.
All right, just do the roll call. Thank you.
Elizabeth Rodriguez. Okay.
Okay, first item on the agenda, the second item is public comment. This has nothing to do with CPA. If there's anything else, I think everyone here is for CPA.
Did we print agendas? No.
Yeah. The third item, Saisha, do you have any of our past meeting minutes?
I do not. I was actually trying to get clarification. I had sent an email out asking if I was supposed to be doing the meeting minutes for our previous meeting or if I was going to be receiving them from Olivia and then doing the next one. And sorry if that was a miscommunication on my part. I just couldn't remember what we left off on.
You know how far back we are for going to best. Okay. Olivia, I'm going to ask you as well. I know there was a meeting for June 10th, July 8th, and then August 9th. Do you have anything?
I don't, Chris. I stopped at some point. I'm going to have to look in my file, but I
Okay.
don't have anything.
All right. If you can, the two of you, if you wouldn't mind checking at some point and just let me know so we can get that back on track.
Sure.
That would be wonderful. Do you have an address email? She's listing these things information. Rita. Yes. Okay.
No. I need to find the Zoom link. Isn't it on the city website? Oh, it's on the city
It's
website.
on the city website, go to the historic commission meetings page. It's on the agenda, and I believe I kept an active link there.
All right, well, we're gonna go right to the CPA presentations first. You had logged in first. Would you like to go ahead? And so.
Hi, Chris. Were you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go first. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Hi, Joseph. It's good to see you guys. I don't see Olivia, but I did hear her voice. It's good to see everybody. And yeah, let me switch over here. This and let me present. This share. View. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for having me tonight. This Holyoke Public Schools presenting our CPA application and presentation for Lawrence School and the historic significance for the restoration of the Lawrence School chimney and retaining wall. As you all know, my name is Sean Sheedy. I'm the maintenance administrator for the Holyoke Public Schools, and this is CPA application 2425. So the Lawrence School chimney and retaining wall restoration, the summary. The Lawrence School chimney and retaining wall are both critical pieces of infrastructure for the school. They both serve the building in different ways. However, the architectural significance is equal to each other. The chimney condition is in desperate need of restoration and will require immediate attention to address the increasing safety concerns. The retaining wall has deteriorated over the years and is to the point that it now needs to be restored. The safety concern is just as important for both the chimney and the retaining wall as the public interacts with them on a daily basis. If approved, the funding from the CPA program will allow for the chimney and retaining wall to both be restored to its original condition, allowing them to be safe, functional, and retain the architectural details for many years to come. The architectural significance. So the Gothic Revival has been popular in varying degrees for many decades before the H.B. Lawrence Public School was built. It is used for educational institutions, was commonplace. Characteristics of the style are the pointed arch windows, the large expanse of windows, and the stone trim contrasting with the bricks and the many gables. Continuing historical significance. Hiram Bartlett Lawrence, for whom the school was named, was a longtime and beloved principal of the Appleton Street School. Born in 1840, he came to Holyoke in 1872 to teach. He was the first teacher in Holyoke to introduce the study of nature into his classes, and to his 1910 obituary noted that his school was the pioneer in the city's beautiful movement, planting the handsome trees and the ivy that has changed a homely brick building into a beautifully ivory draped schoolhouse. The two new schools were opened in Holyoke in the early 1931s, and H.B. Lawrence School housed the students of the Old Lawrence and S. Chestnut Street schools. This is the bibliography, just shows where it is in the historic register. So the interesting history of the school and its historical significance in Macris. Here it is on the Macris map, and its inventory number is HLY 260. Now, here's the interesting portion of it, is that it doesn't have a designation. So it is in the inventory, HLY 260, but its designation is not there. So it's tough to see here on the PowerPoint, but right here in the designation portion, and there's nothing there. And then doing a little bit of research and bringing on a historic consultant for this project, the H.B. Lawrence Elementary School Macris inventory number is HLY 260, but it is not designated on the state or National Register of Historic Places and does not have a preservation restriction. As such, a project notification form or other historic coordination is not required. That's from the historic consultant through Architecture EL and the research they've done for us on this project so far, and within their proposal that they have given me for the project itself. So that was interesting to learn about that as far as that goes. So we'll continue on from Macris. Here's some more information on it, showing where it is, and then the architectural significance, the historical significance, and the bibliography is what I read to you guys earlier in those slides. I just figured it'd be easier to have a bigger portion of it to be able to read out loud or be able to read in detail on the side as you guys convene later on. So continuing, here's our stamp from them, from the inventory. So now moving on to the architectural drawings. These are the original drawings for the school from 1931 when it was built. And it shows the chimney, here on this far left-hand side and the detail to the chimney. The brickwork is inlaid in here in multiple different sections, and then the entryways. So it's tough to see, but this middle section here and this kind of left-hand section shows the entryway, shows the retaining wall, and then as you scroll down here, shows the retaining wall coming off of the entryway. So here's some more detailed architectural drawings, just showing the brickwork and showing the entryways and how they interact. So here's one of the original photos. This is from Wisteriahurst's this website. So you can see the retaining wall in here. To the left hand where my pointer is where the gym area is, and basically that's what's left of the retaining wall here on Cabot Street, and then going down Maple Street. But as you can see, it used to have it all the way going across Cabot, and it actually goes all the way around the entire building. So here's a photo. This photo's from 1952, kids coming out of the building, and you can see the retaining wall itself is in pristine condition. And just seeing the children come out. And like I said, this is 1952, this photo is from. And here's another photo. This was from the 70s. And you can see the retaining wall. It's a little tougher to see, but you can see the retaining wall here in the background there. It is in there. So here's our current conditions of the retaining wall on Maple Street. As you can see, it's in tough shape, and it is in desperate need of restoration. So here's some more of it. Here's the entryways. And here's some more showing the corners and how it's really come apart over the years. And so as you can see, this picture right here, this middle picture is actually the picture with the children coming out of the school. So a big difference from 50 plus years makes. Here are the chimney pictures, current condition. You can see a lot of separation here. A lot of the bricks are coming apart, and it will definitely need to be restored. Excuse my arm is in this picture, but yeah. So basically from this decorative cornicing here down, it gets a little better, but basically from up here going up is where on all four sides is in really, really tough shape, and where the majority of the work would be. So now here, this is on the other side. So on the far right picture, this is from down below. As you can see from that decorative cornicing in the middle, that's where the majority of the separation has happened. But as you go down below, you guys can see a little bit of this discoloration, a little bit of effervescence coming through. There's just a little bit of pointing work in here, but it's not bad. It's in good shape in this area. So it's great that it's not the whole thing. It's just this main body up here that's going to take 95% of the work. Okay, and that is it for the presentation, and I will stop sharing. Okay.
Questions from the commission? Donna, it is a working chimney, correct?
Correct, it is. Yep, it is for our two boilers in the building. Yep, it is a working chimney.
And was there any thoughts, you had said basically that the wall went completely around the property, but it's just going to be working on the existing?
Yeah, for this round of application, we're just going to go after the retaining wall that is on Maple Street and then goes up a little bit on Cabot Street. The rest of it that goes around on Chestnut Street and along Hampshire Street, we're not going to do anything with right now, only because of the large cost to that, and it would require a lot more funding. So this round, we wanted to go after the chimney itself, which the public interacts with every day, and that retaining wall in which the public interacts with every day, kids getting out, arrival, dismissal, pedestrians walking on it, near it, on top of it, kids playing in and around it. And then the chimney, because of the overhead factor, if we don't do anything about it now, some of the brick and the mortar and stuff is going to start falling, which it kind of already has, but we obviously don't want it to get any worse. We want to get ahead of it.
I know there's I think a tower, I don't even know if this is off topic to ask the condition of the tower towards the middle of the building.
That's actually
The
in really
garden.
good shape. Yeah, that's actually in really good shape because the inside is conditioned where the chimney, prior to the chimney flue being installed for the boilers, that was just open air. And so you get that condition where it can freeze and thaw and water can get in there and blow apart in winter. Now with a chimney flue in there, that space is almost conditioned. So the deterioration has happened over the time. And now that it's a different condition, has gotten worse. But once it gets restored, this thing will outlast any of us. Same as a brick wall, same as a brick wall down below. Once it gets brought back up to modern standards with old world techniques and the historic brick and matching everything period correct, it'll outlast all of us. It'll last the test of time.
Right. Tyler, I know you're here. Was there any questions that you had on the proposal?
Maybe just one, Sean, in the conversations that have happened up to now with the consultants you're working with, is the assumption that the chimney from that decorative band that you were saying up would be completely dismantled and then reconstructed?
No, it would be they would start diving into it, and once you start opening up the joints and removing bricks and everything, it would be kind of not play it by ear, but the architects are going to write the specs to determine how much of it will get done because we want to save every single brick in there. Obviously, the bricks down below for the retaining wall, there's a lot of missing bricks and everything. So we're going to have to do our best to match a period correct. But up top, no, we want to save 100% of every single brick and every single cornerstone piece and every single decorative piece in there. So it'd be grinding out, opening up all the joints and opening up everything within there and just restoring it the best we can.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
And the other thing that I didn't have, which I just received, I literally right an hour before the meeting, I received the proposal from the architects. Their fee, I didn't have in the overall application, but as we all know, this is the initial eligibility phase. And so under my application, I'm going to include that. So their fee, I asked for 75,000 to be able to restore the chimney and the retaining wall. And I had a little bit of soft costs in there, but actually getting the proposal back from the architect with the historic consultant and engineering in there and everything came back higher. That fee so far has been proposed as 40,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reapply or add to my application that 40,000. So in total, in theory, it'll be 115,000 that I'm going to be applying for to do the full restoration of the chimney. Well, the restoration of the areas that we identified, and then the retaining wall in the areas we identified also.
Sean.
Yep. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Sean. Good to see you again.
Yes, great to see you.
That area is such a prestigious area of early Holyoke. It had a magnificent library. It had it's a wonderful area. And those skateboarders are doing a number on the wall there. So it looks like whatever you can do would be wonderful. One question I have for you, what's happening with the windows? You bring a window update.
Okay, so the window and door project for Lawrence School is basically at 90% done. So we're just waiting on a couple of windows that were misordered. Whether it's, we don't know whose fault is at this point. It's on the contractor to replace them correctly. And then we're basically in back punch list items. So they're just going through all the punch list items that the school or that I have identified and that the architects and the OPMs have identified. But we're really, really happy with that project so far. R&R Windows has done an excellent job on that project. So we are right at the finish line, another month or so here, and we will be fully wrapped up with that project.
Okay, thank you.
Jay, I'm just gonna, basically, there's not gonna be a restriction because it's a city property. We asked already about historical value. Is there anything else you wanted to interject? Oh, Jason.
No, that all sounds good to me.
That word. Okay. All right. And does anyone have any other questions?
No
Olivia,
questions
say-
from me.
Okay. I think then we can ask for a motion. Historical significance on Lawrence School.
I make a motion that the Lawrence School is a historically significant building to the city of Holyoke, and we need to preserve it as best we can, whatever stages it's in.
Thank you. In a second,
Second.
roll call.
Christopher Gauthier,
Yes.
Joseph Mazzola,
Yes.
Olivia Mazel,
Yes?
Zaisha Robert.
Yes.
Hey, Sean. Congratulations, and I will have a letter out to you within 7 days.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the blessing. I appreciate it. It's all great to see everybody again. And I'm only a district away now.
Thank you for attending, Sean. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for everything you guys do. We appreciate it also.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Good. I'm sorry, Jim, I'm gonna ask you again while you're here, if that's okay. Nothing with City Hall, we're just nothing. Nothing.
I apologize. And,
Do I have to make basically an announcement that nothing's happening with City Hall, or just if they didn't present, we don't
I mean,
worry?
we still have next month, because their deadline is after
Right.
our next meeting,
Right,
yes.
so they can
All right.
always present next
There's some
month.
wiggle room, but it's.
it's very.
Yeah, no, the
Okay.
turnaround will be quick, but
Yeah.
yeah, still a possibility.
All right, next I have Myra Gates.
Mira.
Mira, I'm sorry, Mira.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I apologize. I have this like terrible cold. I don't feel bad, but I sound terrible. So I'll just do my best. Can you guys understand me?
We're good.
Okay, good. Well, thank you all for inviting me to join this meeting tonight. I am a stormwater coordinator and grant writer for the DPW. And I've been working with Victoria Hool, our interim engineer, on the two projects we submitted, the stained glass windows project for City Hall and the Wisteria Hearst retaining wall repair project. So I can present about both of those. I would just do like a share screen of my presentations, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you may be familiar with this project. We've been working on it through several different funding phases. And we're working to complete the stained glass window restoration project in the ballroom. So this is our summary that we submitted initially. This is the fifth and last phase of the City Hall stained glass window restoration project. And it would mean the full restoration of the stained glass windows within the City Hall ballroom. Funding for this last phase of window restoration was submitted previously in fiscal year 23 and 24, although it was not selected This room has great significance for the city. It serves as a space for meetings and large events. And it's a visual background for many public events, such as inaugurations of officials, press releases, and other important community events. The Friends of City Hall group has been raising awareness and funds for this multi-phase project since 2015. And $10,000 has been donated by this group to complete the final project phase. So presently there are remaining windows to be restored and reinstalled. They're currently in storage with plexiglass in place. So you can imagine anyone who is attending meetings or events in this space, their eyes will definitely be drawn to those missing windows that need to be restored. And as you can imagine, just having a loose end such as this with such a beautiful space, we would love to see this project completed. And here's a look at what those remaining windows look like. And then at what we could imagine they would look like if they were restored. So it's a great value for the people that work there to feel proud of their working space. And it's a great value for public events in this historic building. And we would love to wrap this project up and be considered for funding through this opportunity.
Yeah, beautiful. I think we should vote one at a time, just in case if there was a discussion with anything. Does anyone in the commission have any questions on the windows for City Hall? Either Olivia or Zaisha? Or Joseph?
I have a question for Mira.
Yes.
Mira, are you representing, tell me the company you're representing?
The Department of Public Works.
Oh, DPW.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, City of Holyoke.
City of Holyoke. Okay. Oh my God. This is wonderful. This is the last phase. I'm all in favor.
Thank you.
Well, I was just gonna say, per our policy for CPA, we technically don't have to vote on this because we've already written a letter for it. So we can just amend the previous letter.
I'm gonna bring it up at CPA tomorrow. We've been doing some digging and, okay.
We got a lot of work on our process. We'll get there, though.
Okay. All right, so actually, Zaisha, anything?
No questions. I mean, just excited to see it come through.
Okay.
Olivia and Zaisha, I did forward you, I just did it now because I printed it for the meeting, but the roles and responsibility and the eligibility determination, I sent them both to your email, so you can read them.
Okay, thank you. I'll double check my email. I didn't see it come through earlier. Did you send that now?
Yeah, I just shared it with you from our drive.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, can we vote? Can I get a motion?
But we don't have to vote.
No.
No, we don't have to, sorry.
We're just gonna amend and.
Amend and rate,
Yep.
and there's no letter because it's the.
No restriction.
Yeah, and no restrictions. Okay, now we'll go to Wisteria first.
Okay. Let me just navigate to my other PowerPoint. Oh, hang on. Sorry, bear with me here.
It's there.
I know I have to find it on my computer now. Hang on. Okay. Okay, you guys can see it, right?
Yes.
Great. So, you might be familiar with this project because we applied for funding last year and it was awarded. The phase one of this project was awarded, and now we are seeking funding for phase two. And many of you might be familiar with Wisteria Hearst. It's of great value to the community for many events for children, educational opportunities, um, plant sales, many different important community events happen at this museum. So, okay, let's move on to the project summary. The city of Holyoke is requesting $350,000 to fund the repair of the deteriorating stone retaining wall on Pine Street. In fiscal year 24, the city was awarded $264,000 through this opportunity, as well as $75,000 from the Massachusetts Historic Commission to restore approximately 150 feet of the wall, with anticipated construction beginning in spring 2025. And so now we're seeking funding for the next 150-foot section of that wall. The full length of the wall is 440 feet, so we're anticipating 3 phases for this project along Pine Street. The project will reconstruct the Ashlar style granite retaining wall with a new steel reinforced concrete footing in accordance with MHC approved reconstruction plan. So now I'm going to share some of our bid documents for the fiscal year 24 project. We, a couple of weeks ago, submitted our full bid documents for approval from MHC. And you can see here a markup of Pine Street for the 150-foot section closest to Hampshire Street. And it includes some information about drainage and removing trees. Victoria Hool worked very carefully with Pear Consulting to make sure that these bid documents were done very well, so that when it goes out to bid, we have the best opportunity for this project to be constructed well and on budget. And here's another layout from the bid documents, and it shows the plan for the wall. A little bit about drainage here. I'm no expert, but I mean, I think it shows like some of the infill that's going to happen behind the wall, the concrete footing and the steel reinforcement. As I was talking about before, the historic character of Wisteria Hearst, which is listed in the National Register of Historic Places, and also has a preservation restriction. It's recognized by Mass Historical Commission as a historically significant property. This project is really critical to ensuring the structural integrity of the wall and the historic preservation standards. We've also been working on other grant applications for Pine Street for green infrastructure. You know, we don't know if it will get awarded, but if we do this work to preserve the historic character of the wall and make the street look more welcoming and less kind of dismal and falling apart, it will be of great value to the community. And when we do find some funding, if we can also improve the street to make it more of a demonstration green infrastructure location, it just has an opportunity to just grow and grow as a resource for the community. So we really hope you'll consider funding this project.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission? Tyler as well. I don't know if you have any questions.
I think a lot of the material looked very similar to what was provided last time, so I don't have any questions.
No
Good.
questions from me.
I have a procedural question. Mira, thank you very much. It's a much needed activity for Wisteria Hearst, but I'm in favor of the activity. My procedural question has to do with the chair of the Historical Commission. And Chris, I have to address your position in this. Is it true that you are a director of in the Wisteria Hearst Museum? So you would have to recuse yourself from the vote?
I'm on the board, but not chair.
Excuse me?
I'm on the board, but I'm not the chair.
No, I know you're not the chair, but you're a director of the Wisteria Hearst Museum. So I see this as a conflict of interest.
Sure, but I'm not the director.
Hold on. Olivia, this would be the same as the windows because we did it last year. There's no vote.
Right.
Well, I'm bringing up the point that there's a conflict of interest here.
Well, we can
My
also bring up.
understanding of conflict of interest from the previous questions that I've had is that it's up to the individual to determine if they think they're taking a biased position or not. So it's up to them to decide if they're going to recluse from the vote.
There is no vote.
There's no vote.
Right, there's no vote. It will just be an amended letter.
Okay,
As
so.
the last one was.
Okay.
But if there's not a vote, then it doesn't matter. But you were,
Right.
so at that point at the last letter, Chris, you were also on the director of the Wisteria Hearst Museum. So you could have recused yourself from the last vote.
No, he wasn't.
I'm talking to Chris. I'm not talking to you, Joseph. Chris,
Yeah, I wasn't Olivia. I
Guess what I
recently
was
just
trying
joined
to
the
say was
board.
that either way, it's up to the individual to decide if they were going to recluse or not. It's not up to anybody else to say.
No, I don't think that's accurate. I think there's a conflict of interest that needs to be considered. So,
Olivia, if you have a problem, I think the best thing to do would be to email the legal department.
no, I'm addressing Chris, the chair,
Well,
and
Olivia,
you're not the chair.
Olivia,
Excuse me.
Olivia, this is Jennifer.
Hello?
If there is a conflict of interest issue, that is to be addressed by the individual, not by you. We are not having a vote this evening with regard to this item, so we're going to move on now.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Thank you.
I'm bringing it up.
Next.
Okay. So next will be.
One Holyoke, I believe.
Yes. And that is, and I'm sorry if I put my name, Nairobi.
Yep, Nairobi.
Why don't you
Come join us over
come
here.
join us? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet everyone.
Do you mind if I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Am I allowed to leave the meeting now, or should I continue on?
Yes. Rest.
Feel better.
Thank you.
Thank you for presenting. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mira. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Hey everyone, this is my first time presenting in person for a grant. So forgive me if I am don't look as prepared as I would like to be. But I'm Nairobi Rose. I'm the Director of Community Engagement and Resident Services for One Holyoke, a nonprofit organization here in the city. We've applied to be able to restore our Flats community building. It is a building that we purchased back in 2017. Back in 2019, it was designed as a historic significance by Elaine Pluto, who was a unanimous vote, which in my presentation, there is a copy of that letter. The building is looking for restoration to the facade and to also install an accessible ramp for use of the building. And there is some estimates and quotes given by our lead construction supervisor and our project manager. Currently, right now, the building timeline is to, once we've received funding, to be able to hire an architect that can preserve the, follow the guidelines of the historic, what's it called again? Sorry. Follow the guidelines, repair the stucco that will restore the historical character that has been diminished with lack of upkeep. Code required work focuses on accessibility and life safety requirements, which is what we'd like to do. And this work will not have a negative impact on the building's character, and particular care will be taken not to obscure, damage, or destroy character defining materials. The next step, obviously, with the architect's review, to pay particular attention to the Secretary of Interior standards for the treatment of historic properties, the stucco repair, and the final ramp installation. That covers everything.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of what you said. Can you just say who you are again and what property you were referring to for me?
Sure. My name is Nairobi Rosa. I'm the Director of Community Engagement Resident Service for One Holyoke. And we currently own what we are calling the Flats Community Building, located at 43 Canal Street. We are requesting a rehabilitation and restoration grant to build better access to 43 Canal Street, giving the Flats Community Building located directly in our service area and creating accessibility and entrance for the upgrade of the facade and handicap accessibility.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, we haven't gotten anything presentation, actually.
Yes, we got it.
We just got it? Okay. When did that come in?
Earlier.
Earlier, okay. Was it sent to Tyler as well?
I don't know, I can forward it to you.
And I did get, I put in it the additional estimates, but I also bought them.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? Why do you think the building is actually significant to the taxpayers of Holyoke?
As far as the services that we offer, or as, okay. So
whatever you think.
Yeah, so no, so we currently are using the building to provide educational workshops, to provide different type of outreach services for residents in the flats. As you know, the flats is very disconnected from your normal downtown and other areas, and we have been utilizing this building to be able to have a space to offer certain services within our community engagement. We created a strategic plan that meets certain engagement expectations in civics, in health, in public safety. We've hosted neighbor circles that address different neighborhood issues. I think Center Street is the only public street in Holyoke that has permit parking. Parking is a big thing for residents, and we were able to meet and teach residents how to address their concerns with key stakeholders. And that is something that we would like to continue to offer in the Flats community.
Okay, okay. Do you think the stucco exterior is something that is important to the residents of Holyoke to support?
Absolutely. Being, as you see in our identification, it's part of the Hadley Mills townhomes, and a lot of the residents that come to our events live right within this area, and they are very, they want to see the building look as their homes look, and to keep the same look and feel. They moved there and lived there because of the way the flats looks and the way those Hadley Mill homes look, and so preserving it is, you know, right now it's a bit of an eyesore, and preserving it and being able to make it as functional is definitely something that residents that live there have advocated for, and have been a part of a lot of the community outreach and events that we host there.
Okay, okay. You did stress to me the importance of the work that you actually do. Can you give me some type of historic significance on the building itself?
The building, it was owned, previously by the Portuguese American Club.
Mhm.
And in that building for many, many years, there was, a lot of services held for the Portuguese families and, being able to have that history there. We still have a relationship with who we bought the building from. They actually recently came and picked up some really old, flags and paperwork and materials that we've been storing for them, and being able to continue using that space historically because of all the use it got. I was able to learn a lot from the previous owner's son on growing up using this space, being able to have a safe place to bring their children to continues to be very important and valuable. And there are still a few residents that lived around the area that experience utilizing that space and would like to for it to continue.
I've always looked at the photos where it was originally brick. Any thoughts about doing the full, instead of the stucco? Have there been any?
I think that financially,
There's just so many questions about this building.
Yeah, I think that
I understand you're going, I think, to the halfway, but just has there been any discussions of going back to the actual work exterior?
I think that that's definitely something that we can consider. At this moment, what we have looked at is repairing it to make it look better and more accessible, and to be able to have residents continue to utilize the space and not have to take a longer period of time to bring it back so far. To maybe repair and make it as best as possible now is what has been considered.
Okay. It's a lovely little building. I do love it. It's really cool.
1840s.
Yeah, it's a really cool building, and we still have things, supplies in there from when the Portuguese club used that, and it's like boxes of like different just things and old forks and spoons and plates, like it's just, yeah, it's pretty cool, and residents enjoy it. And it's 2 floors, so it's really neat to
And
be
it's getting more active here. I mean, you're holding more.
Yeah, we just
events
posted
and-
last night a Holyoke Leaders Circle that I'm currently working on. We had over 30 residents that all want to be leaders that live in Holyoke and want to do different meetings throughout the city to be able to learn what it is to be a leader in your community. And it's just right on time with, our time.
Yeah.
Now, do you know if you're gonna be asking for a historical restriction on this property?
I am not familiar with that, if we're going to be asking for a restriction.
Okay, it's just basically something where we would be the watchdog of anything going further, repairs to the building, that you're actually keeping in alignment what this actual first initial process is all about.
And that would be something that we, as the organization doing the work, would request. I thought it would be something that the historic commission tells us this is the
Yeah.
restriction,
Right.
and we follow it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanna let you know.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the other commissioners? Tyler, any questions? Olivia's got a question?
I have a question. I'm definitely in favor of putting a ramp there. The community needs accessibility to that building. Like you said, it was a Portuguese American Club before. It's also a contiguous property to the Hadley townhouses, which is which is on the National Register of Historic Preservation. So it already has preservation restrictions on it, which Historical Commission knows about. So I advise you to get some feet on the ground and take a walk around the building and take a look at what buildings you have. I definitely support that the ramp, and probably the stucco was made to set it apart, because even though it was a contiguous part of the Hadley townhouses, it was a Portuguese American club, and it was a significant part of Holyoke's history.
Aisha, Tyler, any questions?
No questions at the moment.
No. Oh,
It's an interesting, like you commented on, it's an interesting case where the historic condition and adjacent ones has been, significantly changed over time. So I'll dig through the proposal that I saw that arrived in the email and take a little bit of a deeper look, but no other questions right now.
no other questions for me. Just agree with everything that Olivia said in regards to its historic significance.
Is that something we can vote on? Motion to vote?
I make a motion that we write a letter for the historical significance of the club at the Flats Community Building.
In a second?
I second. Okay. Go ahead, Zaisha.
Chris Gauthier,
Yes.
Joseph Mazzola,
Yes.
Olivia Mazel,
Yes.
Zaisha Robert,
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll have a letter up to you in a few days, 30 days top. Okay, we'll go from there. Thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
do you have that in a electronic form?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll-
It was actually sent to us, we'll
Okay.
forward it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Please, so I
Sorry,
can add
it
it.
came in and I didn't even look to see.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is any announcements? Thing, I have nothing.
No.
Olivia, Zaisha, anything?
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right, item number 6, we'll go to any new or old business. I'm just gonna be very quick about the plaques. We've had a few, huh? Oh, yeah. We've just had a few, people that have questioned, or not questioned, they have a plaque on the house. We're getting a lot of interest now with insurance agents telling them to remove the plaques.
This is the
Thinking
third
that
one.
they're the third one.
You're getting them continually,
Yes.
because they
So-
think that it's larger than
It
just a
just-
historic
Right.
commission.
Well, it does say, what does it say on it at the bottom?
I have one.
Landmarked buildings. So I think they're,
Yeah, because they're making a mountain out of a molehill.
right,
That's it.
so I
We
think
should put something
what
together.
we might do is write a letter,
Okay.
and that just basically says this plaque is decorative, it does not hold any restriction, X, Y,
Right,
Z.
and then everyone who gets one. If
Everyone
it
gets
says a
one.
landmark down the bottom, maybe consider
I
changing
think
that language.
that's.
Well, that's what I was right. So
Yeah,
maybe we can.
Because it really is just a decorative
Right.
local
Right.
thing,
Your buildings, that's really what it should say, your buildings.
really established, right?
Right.
Okay,
I don't know
create
if
a folder in the drive and we can use
Okay.
that to save all the
Okay.
correspondence
I
that
don't
goes
think we've
out.
gotten many
No.
applications for new ones.
Well, I have a few in hand that I need to, right,
Okay.
okay. Olivia, Zaisha, anything? All right.
Hi. I thought originally that I could help with the plaque presentations or follow through with the plaque, but because I'm dealing with some medical issues in the family, I'm going to have to back away from that. So I don't know who's going to. So somebody within the commission is going to have to follow up with that.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm not
Okay.
able to do that.
that's quite all right. We'll make a note and we'll do some research and who would like to take that over. Unless I have someone right now that would be interested. We can bring it up at another meeting. Zaisha, anything?
Nothing from me.
Okay, I'm gonna go right to item 7, reports from commissioners attending other board or committee meetings. I myself have nothing. Anybody else? Nothing? All right, I have our next meeting set as December 9th, 2024. And that's all I've got. A motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
thank you. Thank you everyone for attending. Have a great night.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Oh, sorry, we gotta do roll call.
Roll call. Chris
Oh.
Gauthier,
Yes.
Joseph Mazzola,
Yes.
Olivia Mozelle,
Yes.
Zaisha Robert.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.